Last year we had a house fire. We were struck by lightning. And during the course of putting the house back together, there were several different contractors that were involved in putting the house back together. And we finally concluded, I think, on around November. And by the time air conditioning started demanding, come around 3-4 months later, May, June, we found that the system wasn't functioning properly. And of course, we called Protech. Protech comes out, and over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, it was decided that the unit that we had, which was only 2 years old, was now oversized for all the changes that took place in the attic, putting the house back together from the fire. And of course, at that point, it would have been very, very logical for anybody, any company, to point the finger and say, well, unfortunately, we were unaware of all the changes, but that wasn't the case with Protech. And over the course of a couple of weeks of a bunch of different trial and error, it was decided by Mr. Nixon himself that he would install a brand new unit for us. 2008 or 2009, my wife and I decided to make some significant changes in the house as it relates to the zones and the ductwork up in the attic. Protech came in and actually did a whole series of analysis and essentially, from what our builder originally put in, needed some changes. They went ahead and proceeded with the work, completed the work, and unfortunately, trying to retrofit it into the existing system, there was a few challenges. And over the next couple of weeks, there were several technicians that came out to the house and tried to obviously fix the challenge, and unfortunately were unsuccessful. And I think it was around 2 or 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, I got a phone call from their head technician, and he said, Mr. Meinke, we'd like to come back out to the house and try one more thing. And I said, sure, come on out. And they came out to the house. I think it was 3, 4 o'clock that afternoon. And there was another gentleman with them at the time. And I'd never met him before, but of course, very professional, introduced himself, and they got to work. 2, 3 hours goes by, and they're both shaking their heads and still can't arrive at a solution. And I think another hour, and it's now 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening on a Saturday night. And they both look at me and say, we got it, it's fixed. And my wife and I are so overjoyed and so happy. I make a follow-up call the following Monday just to talk to somebody at the head office about how much I appreciated them sticking it out on a Saturday night. And the customer service person I was talking to, I can remember distinctly, made some sort of acknowledgement that I didn't really catch or understand. And I said, sorry, what was that you just said? And she goes, you didn't actually know who that was on Saturday, did you, at your house? I said, no. She goes, that was the owner of the company. And I thought to myself right then and there, that is the true meaning of integrity. Protech was the right choice for me.